Coming up on Inside the Summit League, Oral Roberts is back in baseball. Back in the Summit and back at the top of the standings, the Golden Eagles clinch another regular season championship. And the Summit League Director of Basketball Officials is now the National Director of Basketball Officials. So how often do his guys make the right call? We'll talk with J.D. Collins about that. Welcome to Inside the Summit League. There are a couple of dominant programs, if not outright dynasties, in the league right now. You got Oral Roberts in baseball, North Dakota State in women's track and field, and North Dakota State in softball right now. The Bison are ranked in the top 25 this week in both national softball polls. It's the first time in school history, by the way, to be ranked that high. They are 24th in the ESPN poll and 25th in the USA Today rankings. And NDSU is going back to the NCAA tournament for the sixth time in the last 7 seasons after their win in the Summit League tournament over the weekend. And they had a one-day rain delay in that tournament, but here is how it all went down once they got it going in Fargo. South Dakota State and Western Illinois to open the tournament. They got moved back a day because of the weather, but they get it going on Thursday. Last game for Sammy Marshall for Western Illinois. 3 hits, scores 3 times, steals a base, ends up hitting .459 this year, and will end up as the Summit League career leader in batting average and stolen bases. There were 5 home runs in the game, 4 of them by the Jackrabbits. 2 of those by Elise Eitel, and 1 that gets out in less than 2 seconds. South Dakota State eliminates Western Illinois 7-6. It is the first ever Summit League tournament win for the Jackrabbits. In the other first-round game, Fort Wayne and IUPUI. Brooke Betcher and Emily Escamilla combined for a no-no for the Jaguars. Betcher goes 3 innings, strikes out 3. Ronnie Patterson goes 3 for 4 with a home run, drives in 5 runs for IUPUI. Escamilla comes in to finish off the no-hitter, and IUPUI beats Fort Wayne 13-0 in 5 innings.
Coming into the tournament, I knew we had to put into play what we did, been working on all season, and I think that we did a great job coming out today and, focus on hitting on the line and getting our job done.
All right, so IUPUI moving on. Meanwhile, first game of the tournament for North Dakota State on Friday, and the Bison get the bats out on South Dakota State. Alyssa Reyna with 2 two-run home runs. Cheyenne Garcia on base both times. The Bison score 10 runs in the second inning, and the top seed rolls in their first outing with a 16-0 pounding of SDSU. Well, South Dakota in as the number 2 seed in the tournament this year. The Coyotes taking on IUPUI on Friday, 2 of the best slugging teams in the league this year, and they both hit 2 home runs in this game. Morgan Hancock with a grand slam for USD as the Yotes score 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Hancock added a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. USD had a 9-4 lead going into the 7th, but the Jags score 7 runs in the 7th inning. Sarah Lawrence with a grand slam. And IUPUI with a big comeback to beat South Dakota 11-9.
For me personally, the focus was just hitting the inside pitch well. I've been hitting the outside pitch so well that I knew that I was going to get inside pitches today. So I just really focused warming up on taking that inside pitch. And us Jags as a team, we just all focused on not swinging at that rise ball, just letting that go because it's not a strike.
Well, Rachel Q did strike out 7 for USD, but IUPUI gets the win. So South Dakota has to face South Dakota State in a loser-out game. South Dakota State gets out to the lead. Dana Chavez scoring on the squeeze play. South Dakota State up 5-2 after 2 innings. But USD scores 9 runs in the top of the 3rd. Another grand slam for the Coyotes, this one by Sydney Hancock, the younger sister of Morgan Hancock, who had a grand slam in the Coyotes' first game of the tournament. Morgan Hancock homers in this game too. Katie Dinning hits 2 out, and USD eliminates SDSU 18-7. So the Coyotes, one of 3 teams left, IUPUI and North Dakota State. The other 2 going at it on Sunday. 2 best pitchers all season going head-to-head. Brooke Betcher for IUPUI goes all 7 innings, strikes out 6. Krista Menke for North Dakota State goes all 7. She strikes out 11. NDSU gets a run in the first, a run in the third, and a run here in the fifth. Jackie Stifter drives in Amanda Grable. It is 3-0 Bison. Ronnie Patterson, though, comes back with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the sixth, gets the Jags back within a run. IUPUI puts a runner on with 2 outs in the bottom of the seventh, but Menke gets a strikeout to end it, and North Dakota State gets by IUPUI 3-2. So IUPUI and USD facing each other, trying to stay alive. They combined for 20 runs in their first meeting in the tournament. They combined for 1 run in this game. It's a Katie Cochran home run in the 4th inning. IUPUI never gets a runner past first base. Rachel Q with a complete Game 3 hitter, and South Dakota stays alive with a 1-0 win over IUPUI. So the Coyotes and the Bison in the championship game. North Dakota State won 2 out of 3 during the regular season. And the first batter of the game for the Bison, Alex Sobrero, takes 1 out. She goes 3 for 4. North Dakota State with 17 hits and 3 home runs in the game. The Bison get out to an 8-0 lead after 3 innings. Katie Cochran with another home run, a 3-run shot for South Dakota in the top of the 4th, one of only 3 hits allowed, though, by Krista Menke. Menke with 9 strikeouts gets her 32nd win of the season, and the Bison win the Summit League tournament for the 6th time in the last 7 years. At least 1 hit in this game by every Bison starter. Krista Menke named the most valuable player. She ups her strikeout total to 362. That is the most ever at North Dakota State, and also sets a new Summit League single-season record. North Dakota State's now 43-9 on the season. The Bison advance to the NCAA Regionals. They will play Fresno State at 4 o'clock Central Time this Thursday in Eugene, Oregon. The Ducks and BYU are the other 2 teams in the bracket. The regional is double elimination and runs through Saturday. Well, we have a best of the softball tournament montage coming up later in the show, but baseball is up next. Oral Roberts picking up where they left off a few years ago as Summit League regular season champions.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Now to baseball, and Oral Roberts has now won the Summit League regular season championship in baseball in 15 of the last 17 years. And the 2 years they didn't win it were the last 2 when they weren't in the league. But the Golden Eagles are back. They wrapped up the regular season title with a sweep at Fort Wayne over the weekend. Mastodons and the Golden Eagles playing 2 on Friday in Fort Wayne. Matt Watley has been hot for Oral Roberts, an 11-game hit streak. He's batting .444 in that span. A 2-run homer here for Watley. Anthony Sequeira homers for the Eagles too, his 8th of the season, and ORU romps in Game 1, 13-3. Much tighter in Game 2. Chase Stafford goes 3 for 4, drives in 2 with a double. Oral Roberts gets 4 runs in the top of the 4th, and they make it hold up in a 4-3 final. And then the regular season clincher on Saturday. Oral Roberts blows open a close game with 10 runs in the 7th inning. Darian James goes 3 for 5. He drives in 2, and Oral Roberts wins it 14-3. The Golden Eagles clinch the regular season championship. They are 5 games up with just 3 left to play. Well, South Dakota State is in 2nd place, and the Jackrabbits are going to stay there. They take 2 out of 3 at North Dakota State. Matt Johnson is the league player of the week. He goes 4 for 5 in this game with a home run, and the Jackrabbits win the opener 10-1. SDSU takes Game 2 as well. Chris Anderson goes 8 innings, no runs allowed. And then J.D. Moore comes on, and he gives up 2 runs, but gets his 31st career save. That is a new Summit League record for J.D. Moore as SDSU wins Game 2. North Dakota State does come back and take the series finale, though. The Bison turned 3 double plays behind starter David Ernst. And they go to the bottom of the 11th, tied 2-2. Braden Resch, freshman from Saskatoon, comes through, and North Dakota State comes back to win it 3-2 in 11 innings. And Omaha at Western Illinois on Friday. Tyler Fox, very good again for Omaha. 8 innings, no runs, but he does not get the win. Omaha is leading 1-0 in the bottom of the ninth inning. Bases loaded, though, for Mark Garton, and the comeback kid comes through. It's a walk-off win for Western Illinois.
I felt great, just got my pitch, looked to drive a ball just on the ground hard somewhere to get the guys in, and got my pitch and executed. It was a lot of fun.
Well, not as much fun in Game 2 because Zach Williamson was dealing dirty for Omaha. He is the pitcher of the week. A complete game, 10 strikeouts to get the 4-0 win. Williamson gets his 7th victory of the season. But in Game 3, another walk-off win for Western Illinois. First, though, an inside-the-park home run for Omaha's Alex Schultz. Brent Turner and Jake Moore both going after it hard out in left center field. Moore would have to leave the ballgame after the collision, but Schultz motors all the way around, and Omaha leads 4-2. Omaha leads 4-3 in the bottom of the ninth, and the bases are loaded for Turner, who stayed in the game after that collision in the outfield, and he comes through. A 2-run single for Turner, and the Leathernecks come back again to win Game 3 5-4. We've got some basketball up next. He was the Summit League Director of Officials, and as of this week, he is now the NCAA Director of Officials. We'll talk with J.D. Collins about his new duties, his thoughts on those long replay delays, and how often the refs do actually get it right.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back to Inside the Summit League. We'll admit it, if you have watched the Summit League basketball game, you have probably complained about the referees. But J.D. Collins is trying to keep your moaning to a minimum. For the past 4 years, he has been the coordinator of officials for the Summit League. Last week, Collins was named the NCAA National Coordinator of Officiating for men's basketball. So he is the guy who will select and assign the referees that you will see when March Madness rolls around next year. Another part of his job is making sure that the game is officiated according to the rules and make sure that those rules are applied consistently across the country. We talked with Collins this week about any major rules changes that might be coming up and just how often do Summit League referees get it right.
Any televised game that was in the Summit League that we were able to acquire, we broke the game down. We did a call by call, correct or incorrect, and I would say in the Summit League we're typically in the 88 to 92% accuracy rate, and on a game that's got 90 decisions on it, which is a typical game, it fluctuates, but on a game that has 90 decisions, if we're missing 3 to 5 plays during that game, we're in that 88 to 92%, and it's pretty good, quite frankly.
Well, it is, and because of human nature and circumstances on the court, it is unreasonable to expect any official to grade higher than that. So for those 8 to 10% of calls that are questionable, we have replay. Great idea, just not always an efficient process. It takes too long. Collins is meeting with the NCAA Rules Committee this week in Indianapolis, where they will at least discuss whether or not replay is slowing things down too much at the end of games.
What we're looking at the monitor, what we can look at, what we can't look at, that'll all be discussion for the Rules Committee. If they change rules to allow us to look at a particular play, using goaltending as an example, then that will require more time at the monitor. And so I think there's a balancing point between the amount of things we can go look for and how long it takes as it relates to, are the games watchable going forward? Meaning, if the last 2 minutes of a game takes 18 minutes to watch on television, is that a watchable game? And that's something that, we have to be at least aware of.
At the end of the day and the end of the game, Collins says there is a bottom line. Get the call right. But please do it as quickly as you can.
2 years ago, 2 seasons ago, there were times on different games where we took 8 or 9 minutes at the monitor to look at something. Last year, there was a major emphasis on indisputable evidence. If it wasn't indisputable, then deal with it and move on. And we, conference coordinators across the nation, kept saying to people, you need to get out of there quicker. You need to get out of there quicker. You need to get out of there quicker.
So there has been an effort, or at least an awareness, to try and not slow down the game. but replay review in the final 2 minutes is not going away.
As the game moves toward the end and the call impact goes higher, we could and should be a little more lenient toward allowing the officials to have a little more time to get one more angle, one more replay, to take the appropriate time to get those calls right. Because at the end of the day, it's in the last 2 minutes. It might mean who wins the game and who doesn't, so we have to get it right.
And a lot of times it's going to take a 2-minute review to do that. So we're going to have to live with the replay reviews and the TV timeouts, not to mention all those timeouts late in the game that are called by the coaches. But what if you took some of those away?
I think there's an emphasis by several folks to encourage the coaches to reduce the number of timeouts, but I think that is pretty sacred to coaches. So whether or not that comes out of the rules committee as a change, we'll know by the end of the week.
Now, on the timeouts or anything else, it's not up to Collins to make the rules. It's just up to him and his guys to enforce them correctly. And same thing with the shot clock. There is a chance this week that the Rules Committee could recommend a shortening of the shot clock for the men from 35 to 30 seconds or even less than that. But Collins says he is fine either way. He will get his guys to make the right call. Well, up next, news concerning a couple of Summit League athletic directors, honors for one and a new job for the other. And we'll check on some of the best performances so far by Summit League track and field athletes heading into the league outdoor championships this weekend.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Well, some news and notes this week on two Summit League athletic directors. Congratulations to Justin Sell at South Dakota State. He is the Under Armour Athletic Director of the Year, presented by the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics. He is one of 28 winners across the nation in all divisions of college athletics. Sell has been the main man in Brookings since 2009. He has overseen completion of a $32 million indoor practice facility at SDSU and the $65 million football stadium that is currently under construction in Brookings. Elsewhere, Tommy Bell is leaving Western Illinois and going back to Southern Illinois. Bell has been in Macomb for 2 years. He was the athletic director at Fort Wayne for 6 years before that, and he worked in the athletic department in Southern Illinois for 6 years before that. So Tommy Bell going back to the Salukis now as their athletic director. Well, speaking of Western Illinois, they will host the Summit League Outdoor Track and Field Championships this week, starting on Wednesday. The North Dakota State women have won the team title for 7 years in a row now. The Bison hold the best times in the league right now in 11 of the 21 events. Erin Teschuk has the top time in 3 of those, the 800, the 1500, and the steeplechase, where she is the defending Summit League champion. Emily Lesser of North Dakota State has league best in the shot put and the hammer, and the NDSU women are the heavy favorites to win their 8th straight outdoor championship. Now, the North Dakota State men have won or shared the last 5 outdoor team titles, but South Dakota might have a leg up this year. NDSU has 6 of the top times or distances in the league. USD has 7 of those, including Cody Snyder in the discus. He has gone over 196 feet this year. That is more than 9 feet further than when he won the event in the Summit League Championship 2 years ago. But they get started this week at Western Illinois in the Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Well, up next, you are definitely allowed to get loud on the softball diamond. All the blood, sweat, and cheers from the Summit League tournament coming up next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Well, congratulations to Cheyenne Garcia at North Dakota State, named the Softball Player of the Year this year, and to Krista Menke at North Dakota State, the Pitcher of the Year. And they will lead the Bison against Fresno State on Thursday in the first round of the National Softball Tournament. We go out this week with the best hits, runs, and errors, along with all of the energy and the excitement of the Summer League Softball Tournament, put together by our producer, Chad Hunt. See you next week.
Yeah. Woke up this morning and I was feeling so good. Made a change for the better day. Never knew I would. Now my head's in the clouds. They can't bring me down. Got a smile on my face. Can they see me now? This morning and I was feeling so good. Made a change for the better day. Never knew I would. Now my head's in the clouds. They can't bring me down. Got a smile on my face. Can they see me now? Woke up this morning and I was feeling so good. Made a change for the better day. Never knew I would. Now my head's in the clouds. They can't bring me down. Got a smile on my face. Can they see me now? Woke up this morning and I was feeling so good. Made a change for the better day. Never knew I would.